guys, Allie here from thriftyfamilyfinds.com. I am here to give you my grocery tip number 3. If you haven't seen the first 2, they are loaded onto my YouTube page, which is Thrifty Family Finds. So you can search for that on YouTube. You can also watch the previous grocery tips in the highlight section of my Thrifty Family Finds Instagram. So just so you don't miss anything. The third grocery tip for you guys is to always make a list before you go to the store and find a list that really works for you, that doesn't work just for when you are making the list ahead of time, but also that is interactive while you're at the store. Maybe you already have done this. I'm going to show you my list. Before I show it to you, I'll just tell you a little bit about it. I made a Google Doc and I uploaded it to my Google Drive, and that way I can access it on my computer. I can access it on my phone while I'm in the store. So it's a spreadsheet I can edit. I have a formula in it so that it adds up everything in the column with the prices, so that way I always know what I'm spending, and that way I don't get off track when I'm in the store. If there's something in the store I want to buy that's not on my list, I can add it right to the list and the price, and it will calculate how much I'm spending, so I know I'm not going to go over budget. Okay, so here's my list. This is my Google Doc, Allie's shopping list. I have a column here for the quantity I'm buying, the item, the store I'm buying it at. If I haven't told you before, I generally shop at 2 stores, Costco and Fred Meyer. I can explain why in another video, but those are the 2 stores I shop at the most frequently. There are a few things that I buy in the bulk section of PCC, like my spices, and I just refill the jars that I already have. But these are my 2, Costco and Fred Meyer are my 2 main stores that I buy from each payday. And then I have a place for the price of the item. This column right here doesn't have a title, but it's where I put an asterisk or an X or whatever when I'm in the store and I put things in my cart. That way I know that I don't have to go find those things. And this is where I put down if I have a coupon for the item. Also, if I'm using a rebate or a rebate or something like that in a digital app, like, or a grocery saving app like Ibotta or Drop app, which I will link to those in the About Me section of my Instagram and also in the description of this YouTube video. You can find the links for those if you haven't signed up and want to. I'll also do a more in-depth video on those and why I love those 2 apps. There's a couple other ones I love as well, but they require more explaining. Anyway, so I note in here if there's a coupon, if there is a rebate, all that kind of stuff. And then over here I just have listed meals, and this is not a typical shopping list for an entire pay period for me. This pay period is a little different for us, but this is where I list off meals based on things we already have. And then right here I have the meal that I'm going to buy, and then I add the ingredients that I might be missing over here. So everything's all in one place. If you scroll down, you can see the total of what I'm spending. Now, our grocery budget includes gas for my car, toiletries, all that kind of stuff. So it's not just groceries. And then I always set aside money for the second week of our pay period. We have 2, Chris gets paid twice a month. So we basically, I always set aside money for the second week, just so that if there's produce that we need or essentials, then I have something set aside. But I always include that in this budget so that I'm not going over our total budget that we have to spend for the entire pay period. Another thing to note about my grocery list and how I make my list is that I generally don't list out, at least for Costco, specific produce that I'm going to buy unless it is something I need specifically for a recipe and that I know that they generally have it. Most of the time I just put a line item on here that says produce, and I usually budget about $50 for produce. If there's something specific, like I said, I'll list that below and how much I think it's going to cost. But I generally give myself a lump sum of about $50 for the first week when I do my Costco run for produce. That way I'm buying things like little oranges, like the mandarin oranges, Apples, we do that a lot. Organic apples from Costco, things that are not going to go bad by the second week. We also do get usually some berries. Those things go, you know, they'll go bad faster, but the way my kids eat those things, they're not going to make it to the second week of our pay period anyway. So that's why there's that money at the bottom of this list set aside for the second week of the pay period. That way we can replenish those things that we've run out of, or that my kids have gobbled down in the first 2 days of the pay period. Anyway, if you have any questions about this list or how to make it, how I use it, any of that stuff, send me a message, comment, whatever. And yeah, just let me know what other things you'd like to see. I think the next video is going to be about the rebate apps and how I save money using coupons and digital coupons, rebate apps, all that kind of stuff, and what I do with that money. So yeah, till next time.